Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. It has been a minute since I recorded a video for YouTube, but I'm getting back into the rhythm. I had to take a quick mental break to just digress. But I have some exciting news. We are going to Disney World. I'm excited because we were supposed to take our children on a trip to Disney World in 2020, but we all know how that turned out. So now we are planning a trip for this year to go to Orlando, Florida. I love planning, as you can tell by my channel, but I really love travel planning because it'll give us an opportunity to experience something new as a family. And I love researching best places, best restaurants, best theme parks, best activities, and doing all of those things in preparation for our trip. So I have a notebook that I designed for travel planning. So this will be where I start. I don't have, yes I do. I also have this Erin Condren Petite planner. So this is their travel planner. Hopefully the camera picked up, but it says always take the scenic route, and this is a travel journal. But for right now, I am starting out with just a simple notebook from Walmart. I may have talked about this during a planner talk live on Fridays. I do those at 8:30 p.m. on Fridays, 8:30 Eastern time. And this is where I'm starting. So let's flip through it really quickly. I'm going to hit the high points because I'm excited. I don't want to run ahead of myself. I think our trip is going to be absolutely magical. This is not our first trip to Orlando. This is not my first or second trip to Orlando. Actually, I went to Orlando when I was in undergraduate school. It was a quick trip just to kind of do something right before my senior year. And I enjoyed the experience, but it was kind of, I was a college student. So it was only so much I had the funds to do. And then we went again in, what year did we go? We went again with my oldest son, my stepson, and then at the time we had my daughter, but I'm using this notebook to capture just kind of our memories and other notes. So this was our first trip. Oh, here's the front. So it's a really cute DIY kind of memory book slash planner because I captured some lessons learned in it as well. And that was our first trip. Then my husband and I went again in 2018, and we went for it was kind of a timeshare VIP event. And they gave us tickets to go to the Kevin Hart concert. We had transportation there. We had a welcome party with an open bar and DJ and really nice accommodations. And here's the kicker. I saved up some rewards from, they don't do it anymore, but at the time it was like this credit card rewards program that gave you like vouchers. And I was able to redeem those vouchers for that trip. So all we had to book was the flight and the rental car. So that was a great trip in 2018. It was just me and the husband. One of the lessons learned was we're going to fly with the kids. The first trip we drove when it was just my youngest daughter and our oldest son. But this time around with 3 small children, our oldest son, my bonus son, he's a young adult now. So he's not probably into the Disney trip, and he'll be working and all of that other thing, all those other fun things. So he's not coming with us, but we are going to fly down. So this will be my children's first time flying. So I am preparing for that. So if you have any tips on traveling with children, leave them in the comment. They are the ages 4 to 9. So within that age range, any tips on traveling, flying with children, let me know in the comments. We travel, but typically we go to places where we're driving. So this will be the first flight. I also met with a travel agent, and she specializes in Disney trips. And I'm super excited to have that extra layer of support for planning this trip. it could get overwhelming. I already can tell that. There's so many options and so little time. Because at the end of the day, 7 days is a week, but when you are at theme parks and at a resort and you have, different kids who enjoy different things and just so many options, I want to make sure that I'm narrowing it down so that we can make the most out of this trip. Also recognizing that this won't be the last time that we travel to Orlando, Florida. So those are just the quick thoughts that I've had initially. So what has been done so far? Now that we've talked about kind of the trip, what it will entail, past experience, how I'm documenting the journey, what has been done. So far, I have booked our accommodations. So I'm not going to go into the details of where we're staying right now. I'll do that in a later trip. I'll also do some vlogging, but I did book our accommodations. So we have our resort book. We are not staying at a Disney property, and I know you can kind of get some other perks with the parks when you're staying on property, but we were able to find a better deal, in my opinion, that we were able to leverage, and the resort is amazing. It's actually the resort that we stayed in when we traveled back in 2018. Oh, I do have a video, y'all. This was back in my early YouTube days when I recorded our kind of travel video from Orlando. So the resort is in that video. I'll leave it in the description box. Y'all don't judge that video. It is not the same quality as the videos that I'm producing today, but it'll give you a sense of that trip. So the accommodations have been booked and our flights have also been booked. We are flying Southwest Airlines. I looked at some flights on Delta. I typically like to fly Delta, but I got a much, much better deal on Southwest, plus the perk of having the bags that we are allotted to check in. So each kid will probably have their own luggage since we are staying for 7 days, and they'll have it packed with their individual things. So I didn't want to have to worry about bag fees for other airlines. I know there might have been a cheaper flight, but that particular airline charges for the bags, and it was just easier to book with Southwest. So our flights are booked, our accommodations are booked. We have a few more months left to plan the trip, and I am excited. I do know it's best to go ahead and book some of your reservations 60 days in advance for some of the more popular spots. And I've been following a lot of vloggers here on YouTube and Disney channels just so that I can get a sense of what's trending, what's new, some of the changes real time so that I can make the decisions. And speaking of which, when I'm watching the videos, y'all, I'm taking notes. I'm watching the videos and literally taking notes just so that I can have a point of reference as my husband and I are making our decisions. So I'm excited about planning our trip to Disney. I'm excited about getting to Orlando and just having an epic time. We won't just go to Disney, but I'll talk more about the trip in an upcoming video. So make sure that you hit subscribe if you are interested in planning videos, in travel planning, and there will be a Disney vlog or some Disney vlogs to go along with this series. In the next video, I'll talk a little bit about how I plan to use this petite planner, but I'll leave a link in the description box where I talk about this and other Erin Condren petite planners. Go ahead and hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I will speak to you in the next video. Happy planning.